This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back. Last time we got together, we talked about how a lot of what drives us is in our subconscious from our childhood. We've talked about that a number of times. A lot, because it's so impactful. And last time we got together, we dug deeper into that and how it affects us, especially those negative thoughts. How do we turn those negative thoughts into positive thoughts and pilot our lives in a very positive direction? We are going to talk about that today. Go a little bit deeper with her. She's a Reiki therapist, pastoral counselor, intuitive guide, interfaith minister, transformational speaker. She has deep insight on all of this and helps us heal. Oh, by the way, side note, we all need to heal, whether you know it or not, whether you want to admit it or not. Let's dig in with Chris Clearday, our professional of the year, back with us. How are you today?
Great. How are you?
Excited to learn more about how my mind and everybody else's works.
All righty. Well, let's do it. Okay. So last week we were talking about really creating a space in ourselves to allow all of the negative thoughts, feelings, and behaviors to rise up to the surface, from the subconscious and unconscious minds to the conscious minds. And I thought today it would be great to be there in the conscious mind with our pain and talk to it so that we can learn from it and embrace it and heal it. And so, the bottom line is that the thoughts are ground zero. They lead to the feelings, which lead to the behaviors. So today, our goal is to understand the mechanism or the mechanisms that make happiness so that we can dwell in the highest vibes that will give us the best outcomes in our lives, our relationships, our workplace, everything.
What makes happiness for me is a good steak and an espresso martini.
That's great. Yeah, we all have our happy place.
Yeah. So I want to make sure I understand this. So we are going to confront the negative thoughts, the feelings, the behaviors, and all of those, and really identify them. That's what it sounds like we're doing today.
Well, and maybe even more, because last episode we really did work on identifying. And now this is our 20th episode today, so congratulations.
Wow.
So I think that we're going to take what we did last week, take what we uncovered last week and learn to turn those negative thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, the one that undermine our happiness, into our friends. We're gonna make friends with them, because the truth is that they have always been coming up to be healed. They are friendly little messengers from our subconscious and even unconscious minds that telling us what needs to be healed. So we're going to use them.
And by the way, I just want to share with everyone, we do these in order. The healing takes place in order. So if you're just finding us today, there's 19 other podcasts. So look for them on the YouTube channels. Just do a search for Chris Clearday and podcast, because it can be very impactful to kind of walk that journey along.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this information gets consumed just like the chapters of a book, in order.
Yeah.
But it's whatever it is. So, yeah. So today we're going to just work on taking the negativities that we encounter on a daily basis and noticing them. We're going to work 3 steps. We're going to notice them without judgment. We're going to apologize to ourselves. That's always the second step, because the truth is that whatever negativity had arisen was self-harming. We did it to ourselves. Even if someone else wronged us, for us to dwell in the negativity and perpetuate it is self-harming. So we need to just identify these things. So we're going to notice without judgment. without over identifying with the feeling. We're not going to let being noticing that we're ashamed to make us more ashamed, or noticing that we're angry make us more angry. We're going to just neutrally observe. Then we're going to apologize to ourselves for this self-harming thought, feeling, or behavior. And today we're going to practice building healthy neural pathways really by doing the third step, which is flipping whatever negativity had arisen on its back.
Mm.
And we're going to turn it upside down from self-harming to self-helping. We're going to take that negative thing that we said or did to ourselves or even to someone else, and we're going to flip it upside down.
So I'm kind of thinking that it's very impactful to forgive ourselves. And I never thought of it that way because somebody else did you wrong. And right away, you're pointing the finger at them. But ultimately, painful to say this, we have a choice. And we made a decision of how we're going to deal with that emotionally, internally, well, maybe not so much subconsciously, but it's coming up in the subconscious and we have a choice of how we want to deal with it.
I would say that really most of our decisions, because we spend so much time on autopilot, do come from our subconscious mind. And it is painful to admit that sometimes we perpetuate our own suffering. And what I would say about that is that life is hard enough, genuinely, without us making it harder on ourselves. But we do. And
Mm.
we do that every day, sometimes in very small, subtle ways, sometimes in big ways.
Let's dig in. I'm
Right.
almost, I'm almost like a on guard for what's to come
Right.
because you got to get we're confronting the
Oh, yeah.
things that can hurt us. Do you have examples of how this all works?
Yeah, I've got a couple good examples, and I think they're broad examples that everybody should be able to relate to. So, first, let's say you're a good person and you caught yourself feeling some version of inadequacy or thinking that you're not good enough, or usually they go together, both. So, your first step would be to notice neutrally without making yourself wrong for it. The second step would be to apologize to yourself for self-harming. And the third is to make an affirmation. And we're always going to start our affirmations with I deserve, because we're building neural pathways to deservingness. Because remember, if you were feeling inadequate and you just affirmed, I am good enough, it doesn't get through to your true nature, because your true nature will call bullshit on it because it's not ready to receive that. But if you simply add the words I deserve to the beginning of that, and you say, I deserve to feel good about myself right now, it gets through.
I'm intrigued because the I am statement is so widespread and is always um, is always offered with positivity, but it's not as strong as I think we think it is.
I believe you are correct that for many years I practiced affirmations, and I would say that eventually they sunk in. But I do believe that if I'd started the affirmations with I deserve, that they would have gotten through more deeply, thoroughly, and quickly. So our goal
Mm.
here is to flip these suckers on their backs and create change quickly, because the truth is that neural pathway development can happen like that. It can happen in an epiphany, but it can also happen in subsequent steps. Repetition is the mechanism. So if you encounter these negative thoughts, feelings, or behaviors, or all three, and you're pretty good about catching them, apologizing to yourself, and flipping them on their backs, then you're going to be building healthy neural pathways every time you do that.
Mm.
And it makes a difference because repetition is the key, consistency.
Before we jump in, one final thing on I am, I deserve. The I am statement, I think there's some strength in it. And I've used a few lately as I'm reading more, even manifesting your future. I'm starting to grasp that I am the creator of my future. I've already created it and it's out here now.
Yeah.
Um, And I think that statement works there, but the I deserve is extremely powerful because it addresses what's in all of us, the feeling that we don't deserve things, the feeling that we're not good enough, i.e., don't deserve the good things that should be coming to us in our lives. So I think there's a lot of strength in that word.
Yeah, and there is also a lot of strength in saying I am and affirming that. But sometimes if it's just oppositional to how you truly feel about yourself, that's when it's not as helpful as it could be. And I
Gotcha.
deserve, just replacing it is more helpful.
What's the next step?
So, okay, so I want to give you another example. So if you're affirming, I deserve to feel good about myself right now, or you're affirming, I deserve to believe in myself right now, or I deserve to trust in myself right now. Whatever you're affirming your deservingness simultaneously, and your deservingness is at the root of your own unhappiness. What I want to remind everybody is that your true nature needs to hear you saying this to yourself because you are the most important person listening. Always, that you deserve to feel good about yourself and you deserve to believe in yourself right now because it's true. And
Mm,
then, of course, this only works if it is true. If you're not being a nice person, then make some changes. But for the people who are being good people, who are trying their best, this will work every time, and it
mm.
helps build neural pathways. So those are good examples with the thought and a subsequent feeling. Feeling inadequate, thinking you're not good enough. So I'll give you another example. Let's say you caught yourself noticing that you aren't advocating well for yourself and that it's hard for you to share how you truly feel. So these would be behaviors, okay? If you're not advocating well for yourself, you are not speaking up, you are suppressing, probably also avoiding, denying, pretending, and a whole host of other things that aren't good for us. Um, so, step one, notice neutrally without making yourself wrong. Secondly, apologize to yourself for self harming. Third, flip it on its back. Affirm something like, I deserve to be able to learn how to advocate for myself. I deserve to learn how to speak the truth with love and grace. I deserve to feel empowered. I deserve to feel centered and strong. Whatever it is that counters that for you.
I'm intrigued for something you said a moment ago that doing this, and even the affirmation could be an instant change, an instant re rewiring of the brain, if you will. It could
Yeah,
happen that fast.
it could. It's a state shift every time.
Wow.
And what we really need is we need multiple consistent state shifts to set the neural pathways in more strongly, because you'll notice the difference between the first set and the second set. So the second set of affirmations is something that's going to instill patience in you because it takes time. Like these, it doesn't mean that you've already mastered the skill of being able to speak the truth with love and grace, or advocate for yourself, or share how you feel with people who are safe. It means that you are working on it, because we're never farting rainbows here. It takes time and repetition, but ultimately it is inevitable that you build the muscle you target with consistent effort. So if you're targeting negativity, you're building that muscle. If you're targeting positivity, you're building that muscle. If you practice this as often as you can, then, and which means as often as it presents itself, then you will create more happiness in your life.
I'm listening. There's a lot. We're processing a lot here, but this is years of conditioning.
Oh gosh, it's decades, Steve. It's
Yeah.
it's forever. It started when we were three, four, and five, probably. And we perpetuated it subconsciously through our lives. And, now it's time to really take a look at what's really been going on and use this to your benefit. don't let it torment you. It's pointing you to healing. So I believe that resisting pain conceals its opportunities to heal. In fact, it's kind of like the tenet of my entire practice, right? We need to start considering that these negativities that rise up from our subconscious and unconscious minds are not here to torment us. They're actually signs and blessings. Each one is an opportunity to address an imbalance and repair a self-harming mechanism.
Because many of us, when call it triggered, something comes up, it hurts, an emotion or whatever, we kind of just sweep it under the rug. Yeah, I don't want to deal with that. Let me keep myself busy over here. Let me gravitate toward a substance. Let's do whatever we need to do to not address it. But it's when you face it head on, that's where the opportunity to heal comes.
Right.
Mm.
You know, something that I think I want to talk about another time is that these self-harming thoughts, feelings, and behaviors equal self-loathing. So we'll come back to that another episode most likely. But
Mm.
as for today, um, as you consistently practice these three steps, you will reinforce positive and empowering ways of thinking, feeling, and behaving so that you will fall out of despair and you will literally, I promise, fall into a pit of hopefulness, not from hopelessness to hopefulness. Because if you practice this regularly for even 1 week, your outlook and your inlook will reflect more positivity. You'll see more possibilities, you will feel more empowered, and you will be more uplifting.
Would
Because
you
the truth is that, as I've said many times, you can either be your own best friend or your own worst enemy.
would you say, Chris, that after practicing this for a period of time, you'll start feeling like you're more in control of yourself? You got a more, got a handle on it.
Yes, you will feel like you're in the driver's seat instead of at the effect of your life. You know, you will feel like you might have a state shift regarding your job where before you felt like the victim of your boss or your employees or your coworkers. Now you might feel like it might occur to you, huh, I have a choice. I could stay at this job or I could leave. And if I choose to stay, I might as well make it count. I might as well enjoy my time there. So I'm going to do better. I'm going to do my best to not constantly harp on all the things that don't work and focus on the things that do. You'll give yourself a better attitude because every thought, feeling, behavior has an impact. It's either going to be good or bad, and it's going to be on you and it's going to be on everyone around you. So this means your partner, your friends, your kids, your parents, your extended family, your neighbors, your coworkers, boss, employees. What am I missing? The clerk at the store who is working minimum wage and doesn't have time to listen to podcasts because they're too busy working two jobs to feed their kids. Like when you lift yourself up, you automatically lift other people up. And this applies to even complete strangers. So I guess the message is be nicer to yourself and other people.
And one thing we didn't talk about here, but we talked about it before, is the energetic vibration. So if you're nicer to yourself, you're giving yourself some grace, you're
Mhm.
apologizing as well, and all of those things, you're raising the energetic vibration that others feel from you. Even if you just walk in and say, "Hi, can I get a, iced chai pumpkin latte with a smile on your face?"
Right.
They're going to feel it. Like literally, when you're in a better place, other people are going to feel it energetically.
Absolutely. And I think that it's important to note that, this really does have an impact on you on the deepest levels so that you will notice people smiling at you because the look on your face has shifted. I have clients tell me all the time, people are smiling at me now. It's really weird. I don't know why. It's because they shifted.
I totally get it. And I don't know if I've ever told you this. Like I experiment with this. I will walk into the gym, see the same people don't even know who they are. There's a one, main straightaway, if you will, where you mostly walk to get where you're going to go. It's a big place. And I will, as I'm walking in from the parking lot, thinking, raise your vibration, raise it up, positivity, raise it up. I'm not doing anything different. I'm not walking with a cheesy grin. I'm just doing what I do, except I'm intentional about my energy, just bringing it up mentally,
Right.
thinking of it. And then I'll
Yep.
walk in, and just like you said, I'll pass people. They'll smile at me. They'll say, hey, good morning. How you doing? I'm like, hey, how are you? I know anything different except that. And
Yeah.
that's my proof that this stuff works with the energetic vibration you're putting out.
Yes, I would say that the bottom line could be intentionality. Of course, to build neural pathways, you need repetition and consistency. But the bottom line is intentionality because the world needs your conscious participation. The world is struggling in so many ways. If you can consciously participate, and then you will impact other people who can consciously participate. And we can get a whole movement of conscious participators. And
Mm.
that's how you change the world. One person at a time. You start with yourself and you work your way out from there.
3 steps. That's what it is. I don't
They're
want to say,
simple.
yeah, once you understand them and you know when to apply them, for
Mhm.
example, when something comes up, but the apologizing to yourself, in my mind, that's one of the most important ones because we don't give ourselves grace. We just beat on ourselves mentally all the time. We don't even know we're doing it because we're so programmed, used to doing it.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, that's so
wow.
true. I feel
Mm,
like I feel like I just want to explain one thing real quick. Do we have another moment?
like a minute.
Okay, so if you are thinking negative thoughts and they're all stacked up against one another, you're in a pit of despair. Just imagine if you're thinking positive thoughts, feelings, behaviors, they're all stacked up against one another. You fall into a pit of hope. That's how you do it. And even if, let's say, an average person might have 150 negative thoughts a day, or feelings, behaviors, whichever. So if you caught those, let's say you caught 75% of them and you did this process, you would probably have half of the instance of negative thoughts, feelings, or behaviors the next day. And you'd cut that in half every day. You'd be down to 0 to 5 within a week.
Mm, time to get to work.
Yeah.
ChrisClearday.com is where you can be found. And for anybody that wants help with this, to walk the journey with them, to understand it better, whether it's all different modalities that you offer from energy healing, Reiki, and so much more, just go to the website, start the conversation. Thank you for uncovering all this stuff. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We'll catch up soon, okay?
Okay. Bye-bye.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.